Okay, hey, a lot of respect for Samford, a lot of respect for that team, how well they have played here early, winning every game by double figures and making it very difficult for teams. I just have a lot of respect for that team. I would be surprised, now they're in a really good league, but I would be surprised if they don't have a really solid year. So tremendous respect for their kids, their team, the way they played. And you know, they had shown their defense, but they had not shown it consistently. And I think they probably were committed to playing it the whole game unless we just came out and really shot the lights out. Clearly, we did not do that. So they stayed in it, and I thought our guys responded well, you know, after taking some time to adjust to it. So proud of our guys, and you know, proud of this win. We got a long ways to go. We know that. We have to get a lot better at attacking zones and a lot better at a lot of things, but really proud of this win.
Chris, how do you think you guys handle the zone? I know you can't help shots not going in, but were you taking the right shots, getting the right looks against that?
I wouldn't always say the right shots. I think we had some rush shots, and we had some shots that we're just not really in the flow of what we do, and particularly in the first half. And I think some of that is our guys kind of finding their way around it. Anytime you play a team that is, A, going to walk the ball up the floor on offense, which we hadn't seen them do a whole lot, but they clearly wanted to slow the pace of the game down, and then B, try to zone press back to zone and really slow the tempo. It's just you got to adjust to that, and we didn't always do it very well in the shot selection. Something we have to get better at.
And their coach said obviously they went to that zone. They were worried about Caleb. And the other night, the head coach of South Carolina State said he was really worried about your guards coming in.
Yeah.
Is it a good thing that, you know,
yeah,
teams are scouting you when they're worried about not just one key guy and the whole team guy?
Yeah, I think that's got to be the balance of our team, right, is what we've said is the strength of our team. And you want me to answer this? Whose phone is this? Oh, is that yours, Bill? Okay. No, it's okay. I think it was Amanda. Do you know an Amanda? That's okay. You can just leave it up here now if you want. There we go. I lost track, actually, what I was going to say. Yeah, balance, I think, is going to have to be a strength of our team. And, you know, I think if that is who we are, you know, tonight they tried to take away our interior guys, but they were also really extended on and locking in on some of our shooters. I thought our guys did a really good job finding Caleb in the zone at times, but we got to get better at that as well.
Chris, why did you feel you had to send a message with the starting lineup today, and how do you think that impacted the game? Yeah,
it was just a minor team infraction of being late that I just felt like, you know, we needed to address, and you know, you know, we had talked about it here for the last week about the importance of that, and I just felt like this is the response I needed to have. And they're great kids. We have great kids, awesome kids. They took it in stride, and, you know, move on.
Seems like there's a lot of things that you could take out of this game that might help you down the road, whether it's something like that or not overlooking a team, or not to say that you were, but just it seems like there's a lot of things maybe you needed a game like this. Did you feel that way?
Yeah, I do. I do. One, I think they're going to win some games and be a quality team and have a quality season. And two, I think that playing a team that has this different of a style, they came in obviously very confident, being 5-0, and we gave them some life there early. But I do think there's a lot that can be taken from this game. And I'll watch film and see them. Like I said, there's so much we have to do a better job of converting in transition when we're at an advantage. Like, we've got to do a better job of that. And I clearly have not put our guys in enough positions in practice to where we're working on those types of situations, because we are really bad at converting in advantage 2-on-1, 3-on-2 situations. So there's a lot that we have to get better on. and but a lot to take from this game.
Talked about winning not getting in the way of progress after last game, and then you come out and you're down at the half this time. Does that sort of all go into one in your mind?
Yeah, I think that our guys really had a real healthy respect for this team, and part of it's because they watching tape, and our assistant coaches did a really good job preparing them for that. But I hope that's what we do every game, that we do not allow winning to in any way, we don't want to confuse winning with growth and progress. And I think that can get confused with teams, particularly young teams. And that is the challenge in front of us right now, is to not let that happen.
Did you see when CJ made that play, did you sort of feel a sense that the team had sort of turned around in the second half and he saved the ball and led to the fast break?
I think it was a momentum play for sure because of the energy around our crowd. I mean, it was a fantastic series of saves by he, and I think Luther and Key was somehow involved, and I had my eyes shut for most of it. But it was a fantastic hustle play that I really think was critical because it livened up our crowd.
What got your defense ramped up early in that second half that obviously turned the game around?
Yeah. I just think a little better effort, a little more consistent effort. We changed our ball screen coverage a little bit at halftime with number 4 against number 4 because he was getting downhill on us. But I just think our guys recognize that we don't, right now it's not about making shots. We got to get some stops. That'll fuel our offense. And then I thought in the second half we did a better job attacking their zone too.
Keyshawn Woods played a season-high 37 minutes tonight. Do you feel his role has kind of been defined, or is it still kind of fluid and you're trying to figure out what he's going to be for this team?
No, I think it's pretty defined. I think in large part he's good against zones. You need thinkers, passers, skilled, but you need guys that can see the game and make the right pass against zones. So he was critical for us, and that's why I kept him in there. I don't know if I took him out much at all.
You guys had a pretty quick turnaround from Sunday's game in comparison to the first 4 games where you had a couple days in between.
Yeah.
How much do you think that affected the shooting tonight?
Good question. I don't know. Maybe there were some tired legs. I think there very well could have been some tired legs, although yesterday we really tried to do our job, and our great strength staff, training staff, and trying to get our guys healthy. And we didn't play a whole lot. I don't think we had a guy play more than like 24 minutes the other night. I just think it was we had a hard time adjusting to their zone, and they did a good job identifying and flying at some of our shots. And it's different when you're seeing that much zone and shots come up against the zone. It's different. It's a different feel. And I've got to do a better job putting our guys in better position against that.
And just in comparison to the other 2 home games you played, this one was clearly a more competitive game. Is it more you can take from this game in comparison to the other 2 just because of how the game was played?
For sure. Because I think IPFW will have a good year, but they were tired. They had been in L.A. like 4 days earlier, and they just got fatigued in the second half. I think this team has all the pieces to have a really solid year. They're similar like a Miami of Ohio last year that we played, and that was a tight game in the last, I think, 5-6 minutes, or Texas Southern. I think they'll have it. Their league's very good. I got a lot of respect for, Furman beat Villanova, Wofford beat Carolina. It's East Tennessee State's. It's a heck of a league, and we're not going to schedule their league much anymore.
Chris, CJ's kind of struggled with his shot the last couple of games, but it looks like he's finding other ways to impact the game. 9 rebounds tonight. How would you assess the way he's played in this stretch?
He's got to play a more consistent floor game. Has to, but I just said that exact thing to him in there. I thought he let his offense affect his defense in the first half, but 9 rebounds was critical. He scrapped in there for loose balls and rebounds, and it was a significant impact on the game because we needed that. He came up with some loose balls, but he's got to play a better floor game, and we've been saying that for a couple games now. His assist needs to go up, and his turnovers needs to go down, And I just think he needs to play better in that area, and he will.
Friday, obviously, I think a lot of fans are anticipating playing back at St. John. Just what are your expectations of what that night will be like? I know, obviously, you're preparing for a game, but just the return to St. John and what your expectations are for Friday night.
Yeah, can't wait. A lot of prep for us between now and then. Getting our guys ready, a different environment, and we got to make sure our guys have the right approach on Friday as well, because I think sometimes those things can work against you when you have. I guess we're wearing new uniforms and different uniforms, I guess, and all the environment and the stuff that goes into it. So we need to have the right mindset. We need to be about playing to win. But it's obviously a place that is beloved. St. John Arena is a fantastic environment from what I understand. So I know we're all excited about it. But as coaches, we got to dig in and make sure our guys have the right approach come Friday night.
Coach, going into the locker room after the first half, being down for the first time this year, what was said going into the second half? Was it more of you saying something, or possibly a player saying something? Does this kind of define your team now coming back into the second half of this game?
Both. I think it was both. I think it was both, and I like that. I think this group has leadership that comes from a lot of different voices at times. You'll hear Caleb, and then CJ, and Joey, and Keyshawn, and then there are other times there'll be a couple of our freshmen, and then so it's good that it comes from a lot of different voices and not just from me. But it wasn't fire and brimstone. No one. You'll know when I'm really upset because I'll come back with a bruised hand right about here, and sometimes a broken bone. That means I hit the board. But it was none of that. We just needed to play better. And
going back to the change in the starting lineup, and I know you're not big on necessarily the first 5 guys out there, but what did you make of how those guys played? Some of those guys that was their first time being out there as a starter, just assessing how they did.
It wasn't the most ideal situation. This is a really hard team to guard, and then you're on top of that, you're throwing them against a zone. So it was not the most ideal situation to put them in. And I thought about that, but I just still felt like it was the right decision. But it was not. I thought they did fine. I really thought they did fine. But in their defense, that's a little bit difficult. You're going against zone, which you've seen mostly man, and then you're playing a team that's very hard to guard.
Does that send a little bit more of a message that you were willing to do it against a team like this?
That you'll have to ask them that. We're going to make that decision regardless of who we play.
You guys were able to actually announce your signees for the class of 2019 today. I just wonder if you could comment on the 3 guys that you signed. Super
excited. I'm really excited about our team. I'm really excited about those 3 guys, but I'm excited about our team. And the reason I say that is I don't think these 3 young men decide to come to Ohio State if it's not without the relationship they have with those guys in the locker room. So it is obviously a recruiting class that we're really excited about, that we put a lot of work and time. Our staff was tremendous and tireless in their work ethic, and it was some nasty recruiting battles. We could sit here and talk about that for days, but we're super excited about those 3. But I give our players a lot of credit.
What did it mean to get that started with Alonzo, to get his commitment when he did? What did that mean to get?
I think it set the tone, really, to have a young man as talented as he is from your own state. I think his commitment really set the tone for the rest of the class, and he did a good job also, recruiting the other 2 along with our current teammates. Or our current players. So no question that got the ball rolling, it's an exciting time for our program.
Coach, I mean, one of the biggest things you've talked about is getting the attendance up here at the Shot. I mean, it wasn't a sellout tonight or anything,
Right.
but your biggest crowd of the season, and then a sellout at
was it?
St. John of,
good.
I believe it was, and then a sellout at St. John on Friday night. How excited are you that you're starting to reinvigorate the fan interest and getting fans to come out to the games again?
Well, we're trying, and it was great to. I think we hurt them in the second half, and some of that was it was a clunky game, and but we hurt them in the second half, and they gave us a real lift. There's no, I think at Keyshawn's finish and one, I really heard them, the crowd then. No question, we need them. The St. John game was, you know, it was about our fans as much as us. Really, that was. This is. I'm excited about it, but this is about our fans as much as anything playing that game.
And then you're no stranger to playing in historical venues.
Yeah.
I mean, obviously you were at Hinkle
Yeah.
when you were at Butler. Just, is it going to feel almost familiar, kind of going back to an older venue on Friday? And how do you compare the two, maybe?
Well, Hinkle's really special, so that's a hard question for me to answer. And this will be my first time in St. John. I'm finally saying that right, Dan? Okay. All right. Got Eagle around in my ear saying it's not St. John's, but it's my first time in St. John, so I'll know a lot more after we play. But I'm super excited. Just you've heard so much about it, so I'm hoping we play well.